your Carol go down with you too?
No, Uncle
Plump didn't
Uncle Plump. No, he didn't. No, it was just me and it was my dad and Uncle Walt.
Okay.
Yeah, and we went down and we stayed in Tampa there for a while. Went to school there, a little school called Egypt Lake.
Okay.
And then we went to St. Petersburg. Went to school out there. W.M.J. Bryant. I believe that was the name of it.
See, it's coming back, huh?
Yeah. When I think about it, man. Ooh-wee. Yeah. And, I remember waking up one morning down there in St. Petersburg, and we lived in a little complex. I believe it was called English Village. But across the street, there was these malls and stuff. And this is how good God is. Through the night, it was a tornado or a hurricane or something. Everything across the street was leveled. Everything across the street was leveled. And nothing happened to where we were staying at.
Just across the street? Just across
the street, man. The trees was leveled. The little shopping mall building thing over there was leveled. And they said it was a hurricane overnight. Now, we didn't know nothing. I didn't know nothing. We didn't hear nothing. Nothing. God had a plan. God had a plan.
So after Tampa, y'all moved back up to Rochester?
Yeah, after Tampa and St. Petersburg. Yeah, we came back to Rochester and went to, it was West High School at the time.
Okay.
Now they call it Wilson Magnet. Yeah. Graduated from Wilson.
Okay.
Went to James Madison High School. While I was at James Madison High School, I met my wife. Yeah, I was a young boy. I met my wife there, and met my wife, and we got into and she was a singer, gospel.
Oh, okay.
And she would sing. Her name was Gwen Sweet. Gwen Sweet. Mother named LaVivian Brown. Yes, and we hooked up with a group. Used to be called the Young Beginners, but they changed the name to Obedience.
Okay. About what year was this that y'all hooked up with the Young Beginners who became Obedience?
It had to be, cousin, I would say 80. Hanover Projects was still standing.
Okay.
And they tore Hanover Projects down, I'm just guessing, 87.
Okay.
I'm just guessing, maybe 90.
Okay.
No, it could have been 90. 89, 90.
Now, before you met Gwen, had you been doing any gospel singing yourself?
Well, sure. You know, I played guitar for my dad, the Morning Stars.
Okay, so you're a musician?
Yes.
When did you start playing guitar?
For them, I was 16, 15, 16, 17 years old playing guitar.
Do you remember who the members were at the time you started playing guitar for them?
It was Tommy Thurman, Sidney Gordon, Carol Snead, Mr. Melvin Snead, Joseph Snead. Yeah, that was
Were you the only musician, or was there a bass player, guitar? Or?
We had Carl Floyd there at one time. We had Charles Shealy at one time. Bob Hodge. Bobby Hodge. Now I'm trying to really remember this because you know it's been so long. And then at one time I was the guitar player, but when we get to a program, the Lord always provided us a bass player and a drummer if that's what was needed.
Okay.
We always had that, so it wasn't.
When you first started playing with the Morning Stars, did you have a drummer, or because one of the things that occurs to me is that when gospel music first started off, it was basically a cappella.
Right.
And then eventually some groups added a guitar, maybe a guitar and bass.
Mm.
Then they got the guitar, bass, rhythm guitar, and eventually drums came in. When did the Morning Stars ever get a drummer that you know of?
The Morning Stars have had the best of the best. They've Horsey Powell, Kenny Powell, Tyrone Powell. They've had the best musicians. Even musicians that I couldn't even think of their names right now. Wow. Danny Floyd. Curtis Green. He's played drums. It's just a variety. You know, it was like one big family. You know, nobody came up short really.
Okay.
You know, even if it was the Bright Clouds or the Gospel Tones or the Spiritual Jubilators. You know, whoever could get in and fit in on that at that time, they would get in and fit in. You know, nobody was really left without. So it was really a community thing. Everybody pulled together. Okay. Everybody pulled together, you know. But you know, times change.
Okay, tell me about
times change, you know, because you got some guys that feel as though they too qualified to play behind you now.
Okay.
You know, if they think you can't sing, they won't play. You know, I mean, the reality is reality because these is just human beings that we talking about. You know, these is just human beings that we talking about. And you know, sometimes you know. Some people they wouldn't want to, you know, they wouldn't play. Some of them wouldn't know the material, you know. And before they would play, you know, before they mess you up, they just wouldn't play. Right, you know, it wasn't.
When did that change happen? Because it sounds like
because what happened was, you know, as time goes on, you know that you know, some people they will either move away. Some has passed on, you know. Some of the ones that really held things together, you know, they had passed on, and then you got this new generation of the singers' children coming up. They have
another generation.
Another generation is coming up, and they have their own. These is not 1960 and 1950 guys, you know what I'm saying? They not. You know, they got their new ideas, their new ways, and they doing their new views of music. This is how they want it to go, and you know, but it wasn't a bad change. It was not a bad change. It was a change of elevation. You know, it's
did they elevate the music? Did they elevate?
Well, they elevated the whole day, from the clothes to the type of songs, even the instruments. You know, instead of a 3-piece drum set, now you got a 12-piece drum set. And instead of just this guitar and this little old amplifier, you got a big piggyback and you got speakers all on the walls. You know, so it was a change that was due. You know, it was a change that was due. Just like there's a new wave. Now there's another wave coming. You know, my kids, they sing, and these other cats, they got kids now that's coming up, and they're playing keyboards and they singing, and you know, but it's a change for the better as long as they in the realm. That's what counts.
When you say in the realm, what do you mean?
As long as you you know, these is not bar singers.
What does that mean?
What I mean is, you know, they're not pursuing a R&B career in music. They're not in the bars and in the clubs. They stand right on the line. You can find them in the church house. That's what I'm saying. You can find them in the church house. They stand right in. They stand in the pocket. We still praying for them, and they still holding on. They doing their gospel music.
The new generation.
The new generation. Now it may not. It may not be. It may not. It's still down home gospel. But they just done added flavor to it.